I'm somewhat of a professional. Not. Let's see what happens here. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great Saturday night. Again, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I like that. Move that over a little bit. All right, guys, thanks for being with me tonight. Appreciate you spending your Saturday night with me. I know you could be doing other things, like out partying and meeting up with people, op sessions. I know my friend Dave Abeles is having an op session tonight. It's probably almost over. Well, no, maybe not. That might be just about over. You know Dave from the Onondaga Cutoff Live when he does that. He's not live tonight, so don't go looking for it. So anyway, so we're here on a Saturday night. Let me just give this one more adjustment because I'm looking at it delayed on my laptop. And I want to make sure you guys have the best view. Still haven't figured out how yet to get the iPhone to record horizontally. But that's all right. Maybe by next week I'll figure it out. So, all right. So what's new, everybody? I hope everything's good with you. While we're waiting for people to come on and join us, I will give you a little show and tell what's been going on this week. All right. I've been plugging away on building this boxcar, a little at a time. Usually I work on it during some of my Zoom meets that I have. There's one on Sunday night that I get together with a bunch of friends. We have the Tuesday meet with the Around the Layout podcast guys, and that's a fun one, and usually do some work. So I've gotten pretty far with it. I got I've been working on the doors. I've been all the little different parts on it. Illinois Central, this will be a future subject of our weathering on Saturday nights. Looks like I lost one of my grab irons. That's not good. You get these little plastic grab irons, and I'm not liking them. I think they're a little too delicate. I might replace them with some titchy metal ones and paint them orange. But anyway, this has been the work in progress. What else has been going on this week? My two things arrived today that I've ordered. I ordered my, being a Penn Central geek, I ordered my Penn Central Historical Society calendar for 2026. And it's got, as always, some really great pictures in it. Let's see. Got some silver liners just right outside of Philadelphia. Actually, yeah, Lehman Place, actually over towards Strasburg. Yeah, some great pictures in there, always. Still got another couple of months left to go on the one that's hanging on the wall, so but at least I'm set for 2026. One of the other things I've gotten this week, I got a good deal on eBay, or Fleabay, as some of us like to call it, on two New York Central flexi van trailers. And it's going to be a future project. I got two of these guys. And what I'm planning on doing with this is a friend of mine, Dan Notley, who is affectionately known as Chef Dan to us friends of his. He is a chef by day, but he's the owner of Yelton Scale Models by night. And he does a lot of great 3D printing. And he came out with a 3D printed yard tractor for New York Central flexi vans. And I'm pretty sure this practice went all the way up into Penn Central, at least the beginning of Penn Central. And it's a unique tractor that he's producing, and it has like a pole that sticks out, a hydraulic pole that was used to push the cars onto the flat car. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to buy one or two of his tractors, yard tractors. And a yard tractor is just a tractor trailer cab that's made just for moving stuff around the yard, you know, trailers and stuff around the yard. And these were used to load the piggybacks onto the flexi van flat cars. So that's going to be an RPM project. I'm going to paint up one of those, decal it, weather everything up, and have it on display hopefully at the next RPM I go to. But I still have to order from Chef Dan, so I'm going to do that this week. All right, let's see. How we having? We got anybody saying hello yet? We got 6 people watching, so we'll see what happens. Everybody's being shy tonight. Okay, as always, I'm going to give you a little rundown of what we're going to use for weathering. First off, this is our victim or car that we're going to use tonight. As you saw in the thumbnail, it's an Atlas PS2. This is a newer run. You can see on the thumbnail I had to get one off of line because I didn't have this out of storage yet. And it had the hook horn couples on it. This is a newer run done by Atlas, but it's not that new. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago I might have picked this up. And it's got the Cadies on it, or it's got the knuckle couplers on it. These will be replaced eventually with scale couplers, the Cadie scale couplers with the whiskers, as will be the wheels, even though these are metal wheels. I'll probably replace them tonight with the Code 88 wheel sets, and we'll rest those up too. We'll see how far we get, all right? All right, some of the stuff we're going to be working with tonight. All right, we're going to be working with, because it's a red car, like I said, I like to use dark brown for wash for green vehicles. All right, I like to use that on anything from a red to a Tuscan to browns, and of course greens, all right? As we remember, we did our green vehicles from the other night. We're going to be using some Russian earth for our ground grime along the bottom of the car. Kursk soil for our trucks, along with the Russian earth to grime up our trucks. I'm going to try out this neutral wash. We're going to be experimenting a little bit tonight. Because this is a cement car, we need some stuff to do wash, maybe a little wash with the cement color. So this is like a grayish, light grayish color. So we're going to play around with this. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we will try it out. Of course, we're going to have our odorless thinner, MiG odorless thinner. I'm still trying to figure out how to say that better. We're going to use our oil brushes again tonight for fading and for some other effects. So I have a white tonight. That's going to be part of the fading process. I have, what else? I have red, green. I have a lighter tannish gray. It's a buff. It's actually a buff, so it's more of a beigeish color. I'm going to use that buff towards getting some of our streaks for cement, from the cement loading. I also have out this medium gray, maybe just to darken things up a little bit. I'm not sure yet. Again, like I said, we're going to be experimenting tonight. And I have a yellow. Right, I might use the yellow part as part of the fading effect. All right. Okay, let's see. We have 12 people watching. All right. BN Ironwood, thank you. Welcome tonight. John Garvin, thank you for stopping in. Secret 00 Kid, hi. And thanks for joining us, guys. Appreciate you being here. Okay, and we wouldn't be a Saturday night session without some beer. So we have some beer tonight. Tonight's beer is Athletic Brewing Company, the unofficial sponsor of Saturday Night Weathering Live with Ted. This is a hazy IPA. I might have had this one time before with you guys. And of course, the other unofficial sponsor of Saturday Night Weathering is spraygunner.com down in Florida. I just got a bunch of new oil brushes. I got a red, a blue, and a refill of yellow from them. I also picked up a mask. I got some projects where I need to mask off some windows on some diesels. So I'm going to try the liquid MiG liquid mask. And what else did I get? Oh, I had to refill my where is it? Where did I put it? My pigment fixer. Here it is. Yeah, we're using pigment fixer tonight. So I'm almost down to the bottom of this bottle. I had to buy another bottle, and I had to buy another bottle of Kursk soil because we're down to the dregs on this one. So probably after a few more weathering sessions, I won't have any more of this, so I'll need some more of that. So, and obviously we have our dollar store brushes out here. We have our little color mixing palette, some sponges. My wife, did I talk about this last week? My wife found me a deal on Amazon, and it was like packs of these wedge sponges, and I like these. I love the wedges. I like them the best. And I was kind of bemoaning the fact that I couldn't find them anymore at Dollar Tree, and she went on Amazon and ordered it for me. And I think it worked out to be, when we bought the packs in bulk, I think I wound up being like $1 something a pack by the time we got done buying them in bulk, maybe $2 a pack. And you get about 40 sponges in each pack, 50 sponges in each pack. So I'm very happy to have these. But I still have some of the other ones from the supermarket. I got this wide one that I might be using tonight too. All right. Also, while we're waiting for a few more people to show up, I'm going to show you the end product from the other night, from last Saturday night, our Penn Central car. I haven't done the other side yet. I'm going to do that in my spare time. I modified it a little bit. Remember I said we can go back and always take stuff away, and I thought the rust, especially around this area here, was a little too much. So I was able to go back with some odorless thinner and with it a little bit, and I was able to wipe it away and tone it down a little bit. I did a little less on that. But you can see the frosting effect, especially on top here. It's got a nice 3D texture to it, textured feel to it. And it's dry to the touch now. You know, nothing's coming off on my finger. Also, too, I was experimenting with the slightly different fading. I have this car out. A friend of mine, Ralph DeBlasi, a very good friend of mine down South Jersey, was having a hard time weathering and fading one of his jade green New York Central cars. So if I get a little time at the end of the night, I'm going to continue on and show you what I did with this. If not, this will be a future, maybe like a midweek short video on what I did with this one. But you can see I have a nice faded green over here. And I used a lot of what I've done in the past with the complementary colors off the color wheel, but with a little bit more white added to it, and used the odorless thinner to mix it out, to blend it in along with the sponge. So it came out with a little bit different effect. So I'm going to sit on this for a night, and not sure how I'm feeling about it. I do notice the fade on it, and I'm going to come back to it, work on it during the week. All right. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. Thank you again for being here on a Saturday night, and let's get started. All right, so this is an Atlas PS2, Lehigh Valley. This car would have been one of the cars that would have been running in the cement region where I model. I do model, even though I have a Penn Central fixation, I am modeling for my layout the Ironton Railroad here around the mid-1950s. So PS2 covered hoppers, and I have a lot of gray covered hoppers from various roads, Bath and Northampton and Bath, actually. My friend Eric Peterselli would yell at me if I said it wrong. A bunch of cement region hoppers from different railroads, Lehigh Valley, Lackawanna. I'm having a brain fart here. Some of the other ones that are out Reading, railroads like that would have been in and around cement region. So this would have been one of them. I've seen videos with this being on the Ironton Railroad. So I have one of these cars, and I figured red would be a nice subject to do for tonight, just as a different, as from all the greens we've been doing, and yellow and stuff like that, and browns. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. And here's the rust inside the Reading hopper that we did last week too. I added a little bit later on after the feed, a little bit of the black powder pigment in there, and sealed it in with a little bit of the pigment fixer. And it's got a little bit of texture. It looks like leftover coal at the bottom of the car. So I don't know if you can see that, but I think it came out all right. I might think next time I do one of these cars, I might go a little darker on the rust, but I'm not sure yet. All right. Again, I'm experimenting along as I'm showing you what I've done in the past, and sometimes, as like anything else, you learn as you go. And if you're not happy with the result, you can always improve on it. Or if you're happy with the result, but you think you could do a little better, you can always improve on that too. So, all right, so let's get started. All right, so we're going to start, as always, with a fade first. And first, let's have a drink. Cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday night. We're going to go to a fade tonight. So let's get out the color wheel and find out what is our complementary color for tonight for the color wheel. All right. So we have red. Now we have a red car. All right. So we can see the red here. We move along to the other side, the exact opposite side. And we see we're going to need green. And I do have green out. I think I forgot to show it to you. So we're going to be using green for the red for our complementary color. And what the complementary color does is it's going to give a little bit of accent that you're not going to notice that it's red, but I mean, that's going to be green, but it's going to just throw that red off just enough. All right. And it's going to, you know, help with the fading effect. All right. You're not going to get, if you just did use white, like my friend Ralph had a problem. He just used all white and it looked like it was just white paint slapped on and faded out over the green. And he didn't get the effect that he was looking for. And you kind of need these complementary colors to go with along with the white to get that fading effect. Also, too, you know, what makes green, all right? We could use a little bit of blue, and we definitely could use a little bit of yellow. My plan is to use yellow, green, and the white on the oil brushes for the fade. And then we'll see how that works out, all right? So let's start with that. So we're going to go and get one of our smaller brushes. All right. Oh, also too, well, I'll do that later on. All right, so let's get a brush. Let's get our little pin brush here that we used last week. It's one of my finer brushes. So like I said, you want to try to take care of these. All right. Just make sure there's no residual from last week on there. I have some odorless thinner in here, I forgot to tell you, but let's add a little bit more in there also. We get our eyedropper. I was watching some videos. I always watch new videos from AMMO by MiG. And, you know, Mick Jimenez, he works right at the bottle, and he doesn't care if the stuff starts getting dirty inside the bottle. I don't know. I don't know if I want to have a whole bottle of thinner tinted up, so I'll just keep putting it out in my little tray here. All right. All right. Let's make sure we don't have any excess from last week on here. I think I cleaned it pretty good. Yeah, all right, that's good. I'll leave that there. All right, so we're going to start with the green, obviously. Shake these up really good. So green is going to be our complementary color. So we're going to put some green dots randomly over the car. I'm not going to go a lot. Going across the top of the car especially. One dip into the jar and that's enough. I don't know if you can see the green dots on there. We're going to move over to maybe just a little bit of yellow. Not a lot of yellow. We're going to maybe go one yellow dot on each panel. And that's a little heavy. All right. I want to get just a little bit of red. Let's shake this up. Keep forgetting to shake it. These dots almost look like one of those Wonder Bread cars. Anyway. All right. A few random reds because we want that to mix in there too. And obviously we need some white to help with the fading. So we'll go a little heavier with the white. All right. What is the green screen in the background? That is my cutting mat for cutting styrene and stuff like that, and on the desk. It's also protects the desk, but the this desk is pretty beat up, so I probably wouldn't care if I cut into it too much, but still try to keep it protected. Good question though. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Okay, no other questions. All right, so we're going to go in with one of our clean brushes. Use this guy here. And we're going to start streaking that down. And working that in. So it's not going to look like much right now. We're going to keep working that in. I might need to put a little bit more white in this part here. We'll see. Get some on the ladders here. I think you can tell right away how this is working out. Just digging in the top into the corners here, get some of the corners. So you can see that fade going pretty good right now, right? And we haven't even touched it yet with the sponge. Keep working it, keep working it, keep working it. Before we do anything else, there's one side, there's the other side. Got a nice fade going on there. Get a clean sponge and lightly just blend it a little bit more with the sponge. Because of the ribs on the side here, we might have to go sideways to get that sponge in there. I'm liking this. I'm liking this red car here. Underframe, we're probably going to go darker with a dark wash maybe. All right, let's check our fade out here. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that looks pretty good. 5 minutes worth of work, right? So there's the clean side. There's our faded side. Yeah, we're going to work our way around to the other side now. We're going to do the same thing. We'll start out with the green. And we're placing the green on there again like we did the last time. Again, green is the complementary color. It's on the opposite side of the color wheel. Excuse me, I had a little beer burp there. Sorry about that, guys. My mom would yell at me. She heard me do that. God rest her soul. All right. Next, we went in with the yellow. So we're going to give it a few drops of yellow. So because yellow and blue make green, so yellow becomes a little bit of a complementary color too. Again, we can do a little bit of blue, but I don't think we're going to add blue tonight. I think this is working out really nice just with the colors that we're using. So do some yellow. A few more, a bit more on the brush here. A little bit more on the brush. Okay. I'm going to go with a few drops of red, just to reinforce the red color underneath the car there, on the car. Again, we're just putting random drops. We'll put maybe one good one on each panel, maybe two. Especially this guy. This is a bigger panel there. Okay, then we're going to go to our white, last color. Make sure you always tighten these up nice and tight, guys. They'll last you a long time if you take care of them. Don't want them to dry out on you. Shake it up again a little bit more. And again, we're going to go heavy with the white because we want the white to help lighten everything up. Another dip. One more time. All right. Tighten it up. Going to go back to our blending brush. Is that the one we're using? I think so. Yeah. All right. I'm going to start blending this in, like we did before. Dig in the top there. Ooh, that green was running. All the panels, and we'll go back and start blending it in until it dries up. Don't forget your ladders. And we're going to go back to where we started. Really start working it in there. Oil brusher paints, they'll dry to the touch after about an hour. The fully set up probably, the next day. But I could probably go back and I can even touch this a little bit and it's starting to dry. Because you're thinning it out so much with the brush and spreading it out, I think it'll dry a lot quicker. But it's like any other oil paint. Oil paint will, you know, if you're weathering with oil paints, they usually take a while to dry. Okay, go back, hit the sides again a little bit. Ah, there's my, I just found my wayward grab iron from the boxcar. All right, put that in the box. At least it didn't go flying off into oblivion like so many parts do when you lose them. I think small little parts like your left socks get lost into oblivion, never to be found again. They're off in the cosmos someplace. All right, I'm gonna go to our sponge and lightly start blending that a little bit more. Again, you might have to go sideways a little bit to get in between these skinny ribs. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good. See that side compared to that side, compared to the roof. And the roof has still got that, you know, shiny red paint, but our sides are faded. What are you thinking about this fade, guys? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Is it looking good to you? I think it's looking good to me. And I guess ultimately it's how you feel about it. But I'm getting the effect that I'm looking for. And it's really showing up nice on the red car. I think the green cars need a little bit more work, but the red car, this is pretty good. I'm just going to go in here a little bit more in between. I'm going to clean up the lettering a little bit more. Okay. Thanks, BN. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm getting the effect that I'm looking for. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the roof. All right. The roof is going to be a little bit more later on with our cement, hopefully getting our cement effects and the grime on top. But again, we're going to give it our fade first. So start again with the green. And we don't have to, we've got to remember to do our ends too. Don't let me forget. Remind me. Let me have another drink here. Again, non-alcoholic beer. So I won't be plastered by the end. So this car should still come out good. Although you never know, if I got drunk or whatever, maybe it'd come out good even better. Who knows, right? Cheers, guys. Happy Saturday night. And those of you watching on the replay, happy whatever day you're watching it on. Okay. You know, Saturday's tough for a lot of people. Got plans, whether it's with family, friends, loved ones. But I find I like having something to do on a Saturday night to look forward to. So I'm really glad to spend it with you guys. All right, so we're doing our random green first, because green is our complementary color. Gotta remember to hit the hatches too. Running board, hatches. I'm running across the roof walk. All right. Put the green away. Go to our yellow. And it says a lot of repeating, you know, same step over. Or like the old lumberjack song, second verse same as the first. Give it a, see, we're gonna go not too many yellows. At least a little bit of yellow on each section. Get some on the roof walk. Let's dip it again. I don't know how many of you guys living in the Northeast here. We're getting ready be battening down the hatches tomorrow. We have a severe storm coming up the coast, what they call a nor'easter here in the Northeast. And a nor'easter is almost like a hurricane, depending on the severity. It's going to be a pretty bad one, almost on par with Hurricane Sandy, maybe a little less. They're talking about winds up to 80 miles an hour, sustained, and gusts between 60 and 80 miles an hour. So over a prolonged period of time. So I'm not sure we're going to have power tomorrow. I'm far enough in. I live towards the New Jersey shore. If anybody's wondering what the New Jersey shore is, it's the coastline of New Jersey. And but I'm about a mile in from the water, uphill slightly. So I don't have any chance of storm surge coming to me. But there's odd parts of our town that are down by the water. So I'm praying for those people that they're safe and they'll be okay. Hopefully the worst we'll have is maybe a little bit of power outage for a little bit. And maybe that'll be it. Hurricane Sandy. They call it Superstorm Sandy because it was a convergence of Category 1 hurricane and a low pressure system that came off that formed a nor'easter that combined with Hurricane Sandy, and that's what made it so bad. You know, a Category 1 hurricane usually would not be that bad, but that's what caused all the devastation, death, and destruction here in New Jersey and New York City area that year, back in 2013, 12 years ago. So I'm just hoping we'll be okay with this. Got my generator ready, got my supplies ready. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a dud. That'd be the best thing. Okay, let's see. We're getting the white on there. It's going to be interesting to see what happens around the roof walk because these colors are going into the tread. But we'll see what happens. We want everything to be faded. Another thing I was doing all week, I kind of went down the rabbit hole. 2 different shows that I like are on YouTube 24/7 marathons. One is Bob Ross' Joy of Painting. So any of you guys doing backdrops and stuff, you like to maybe watch that and see how you paint happy little trees and happy little mountains and clouds and stuff like that. And the other one has nothing to do with painting or modeling or artistic anything. It's MXC, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge. I love that show. I sit there for a couple hours and just laugh hysterically at them overdubbing them people. And there. So that's what occupies my time, along with my part-time job. So I'm retired. I don't know if I ever told you guys I used to be a chef, kind of like Chef Dan, my friend from Yelton Models. I was a pastry chef and I taught for 27 years, vocational school to special ed students. Taught them how to bake and make pastries and bread and stuff like that. So that's where I learned about my colors. I had a big color wheel up on the wall for my students. So when they were mixing colors, they can go to the chart and figure out what they needed to mix to get a certain color. Whether they needed chartreuse or a mauve or wine red, depending upon what they were decorating. All right, so we're blending this in again. And again, we want to get it nice and even. Get that color separation out of there so it all blends into one tone. It's going to be a little harder getting the sponge in there. Rubbing that in with the brush. But we will try. Let's get our sponge and start working at it with the sponge. All right, this sponge is wiping more away than I wanted to. So let's see, let's go back, hit it with the brush. Sorry guys, hit the camera with my head. What I might do with this instead, I might go back with a clean brush instead of a sponge. Or wipe the sponge off. Now alternately what I can do is I can actually go in with a little bit of the thinner. So let me get a different brush for the thinner here. Dip it in the thinner, dollop some off, and maybe hit it with the thinner to blend that in. At least in the roof walk. Okay. And this is going to be hit with the wash later on, so the roof's going to be a little darker anyway. So I'm not going to fret over this too much. Okay. Okay, we're going to let that dry. All right, so we just got to hit the ends now. And then we're going to go back and start doing our washes. You can see we got a good fade going on both sides of the car. Doesn't look bright red like the ends do. All right, so let's do both ends, and we'll get moving along here. We got time-wise here. All right. So again, some random dots with the green. Gotta get inside too. The slope sheet on the back there. Do the other side at the same time. Some random dots. Slope sheet. Okay. Next color, yellow. Couple shots of red. And then the white. Forgot the yellow on the other side. Let me get some red on this other side. Then I'll go back with the yellow. And last but not least, the white after the yellow. Okay. White. One more time. Some white on. Getting in the slope sheet's going to be a little harder, but we'll see how it goes. Luckily, you can't see in there too easily, so anything messed up, we're not going to notice it too much. All right, let's tighten this up nice and tight. And get in there with our blending brush. This guy right here. All right. And work it into the ladders, the crossbars there. Keep it in the frame here. Otherwise, you see me doing a lot of moving with not a lot of visual. Okay. Touch it up with the sponge, especially when I get that reporting mark cleaned off here a little bit so it can be seen. There we go. All right, looks a lot better on that end. Let's go on the other side. Same thing. Start working that paint together, blend it in. All right, you're making fun of the Yankees, I know. Just remember, the Yankees lasted one series longer than the Red Sox did. So, although I'm not a die-hard Yankee fan, I'm kind of a Yankee fan because my father loved the Yankees, and it's something I shared with him because he loved the Yankees. And I used to take him to Yankee games, especially when he had gotten sick and had trouble getting around. It's something I shared with him. I used to hate the Yankees when I was a kid. I was actually an LA Dodgers fan. And it's funny, I don't like the Dodgers now. But because my grandfather was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan. So he always talked about the Brooklyn Dodgers. And my grandfather could never bring himself to go root for the Yankees, so he became a Mets fan. So forever being disappointed being a Mets fan. But my favorite team is the Cubs, and I didn't watch and see what they're doing tonight, but they're hanging in there against the Brewers, and we shall see how it goes. Seattle's looking very tough. It might be their year. Dodgers are always tough. Well, this is not the Astros. I can't stand the Astros. I don't know if there's any Philly fans here, but can't stand the Phillies. Say, who names their team after female horses? I don't know. So all my buddies that are Phillies fans always bust me at that and say, yeah, team named after female horses. All right. Let's get a little wipe with the sponge. And we have a nicely faded car, I think. Just give it a once around here. And I'm working quickly here, so it might be a tiny bit sloppy, but all right, all the way around. Faded, nice fade, nice fade. Roof's looking a little funky, but again, the roof is going to be done with the wash, so I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so I'm running a little long with this fading, but I think the extra time was worth the effort. See how you guys are doing here. Yeah, Jays, it could be the Jays. Jays are tough this year, dude. Might be a first for Canada, but we'll see. I think if it was the Jays against the Dodgers, I probably would be rooting for the Jays. So that might jinx you though too if you're a Jays fan. Sorry about that. But okay. Where's the first side we started with? I think it was this side here. All right, so it should be pretty dry. I'm touching it. It's not wiping away. So we're going to move on to our wash. All right, guys. Thanks for being patient with this. Like I said, I mean, you can start the car without fading it and just do the wash. But again, if you want to fade the car, you always do the fading first and then go to the wash later. Okay, so let's shake this up. We're using our dark brown for green vehicles because it's a red car. You can also go with a darker wash. There's a not natural. I don't think I took it out, but there's a couple darker washes I have in here. I do have a black wash. I don't think I would want to use black because that just might be just too heavy with that. But okay. Just got a little in the dropper. Drop it into the cup. All right, so I'm going to use a clean brush. Is this one clean? It just had some thinner on it, that's all. Okay. All right, so going back to what we've done in the past, we're going to take a little bit of our wash, go lightly across the top. Just a thin bead across the top. and then randomly streak it down a little bit. Top to bottom, top to bottom. And just so you know, this wash will interact with the oils on the fade. So we're going a little lighter touch than we normally would. All right. I'll wipe that off and go back and blend it in a little bit, lightly blend it in. All the way across the car. Especially into the panels there, or the ribs between the panels. Okay, good, so we still got the fade. We didn't really mess with the oil too much there. Kind of liking that. Not doing much more. Let's hit a little bit with the sponge now, just lightly. Ooh, I like that. I don't know if you guys can see this. Try to get the light on it a little bit more. That's pretty cool. And with that little extra white that we did, some of these streaks are actually looking like maybe they could be cement streaks coming down the side of the car. Wow, that's pretty good. Clean the letters up a little bit. Okay. One side done. We'll go around the car like we did other times. We'll do the end a little bit. We'll go to the other side the top. And by that time, this wash will be tacky and we'll go in with the grime. We're heading down the home stretch here. All right. Again, thanks for hanging in here with me, guys. Appreciate it. All right, where's the brush that we left off with here? It was this guy here, right? Maybe not. Maybe it was this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. Okay. Get a little across the top here. And random down, random down. Let's do the other side while we're at it. Across the top, random down, especially in the slope sheet there. And bringing it down. It's a little hard to get inside the slope sheet. Sorry guys, I keep going out of range of the camera there. Bring it down. Okay. Let's go back with a dry brush here. Blend it in. Like I said, inside the slope sheet, you're not going to be able to see it too well, so We're not going to pay too much attention to it, just to get it blended, and that's about it. Other side, same thing. Blend in with the dry brush. We got one more side and the roof to do. Okay. Let's get this last side here. Again, thin bead across top. Random strokes down in between the panels. Wipe the brush off. Go back, blend it some more. And go back with the other brush that was drier. Make sure it's completely dry and clean. Go back in and blend it in. Got a little across the top there. I want it to dry. Okay. Got that nice effect that we had going on the other side. We're going to go back with our sponge and lightly blend it in with the sponge. Clean up the lettering a little bit. All right. Now we'll hit the roof. So let's go back to our, where's the brush we just used? Here it is. Down the roof walk. Darken that up. And this on the roof, along the side of the roof walk on both sides. And we're going to bring out the random streaks. Don't forget to get the roof hatches. So we're dragging from the middle down to the side. Okay, we'll go back with our dryer brush, blend it in. Wipe the brush off every so often to dry it off. Turn the car around. Awesome. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right. We finished all our washes. All right, I know we're going a little long. No, we're not too bad. We're a little over an hour now. So what I'm trying to do, guys, is try to keep the live feed down to a reasonable amount of time for people who watch it later on. But we'll see. We're going to keep going. All right. So we're done with that. We're going to do our earth tones with the pigments along the bottom. Now, we've gone all the way around the car. We're back to the first side again, and it looks like it's dry, but it's slightly tacky, and we want that for our pigment. Now, I still got some pigment left over from the last weathering job we done a week ago. This is the Russian earth in here. All right. Comes in this bottle here. We'll add just a tiny bit more. So I think it has some of the dark earth in there too, which is actually a lighter shade. Just want to darken this up a little bit. No, actually looks pretty good. All right. And this stuff is already dry, so you don't have to worry. I can leave this out and nothing's going to happen to it. Leave it out and use it the next time. All right, so we're going to go with our earth pigment. We're going to dab some on the car, especially along the bottom where the chute is. Remember, kick it up towards the edge there a little bit. Especially on the ends of the car. Got a little bit too much on there. I'm going to knock some off before I kick it up. All right, then we're going to kick that dust up. So remember, grime wash is down from the car from the roof. The dust gets kicked up from the road bed, especially a little bit more on the ends there. Bring it up the side of the car, especially on the ladders. A little bit. There we go. I really like this. Really do. Okay, we're going to do a little bit around the bottom of the end here. Kick it up. And definitely the ends are going to get more grime than other parts of the car. We want to get into the slope sheet here too. Get some of that dirt in there. Just kind of rub that in there. Work it into the damp wash. Pull a little bit of it out of there. Okay, go to the next side. This is the quick part. It's the washes and the pigment. You remember the first car we did a few weeks back, that's all we did was washes and pigments. Didn't do any fading. Fading definitely takes more time, but it's necessary if you want that effect. You're not going to get a fade just with washes and pigments. Blow off that excess. All right. I like that. Last side. Got some of the pigment across the bottom there. Kick it up to the top. Get some inside the slope sheet there. Got to do the roof now, especially in the roof walk. I want to get that dry pigment in there. So it looks like built up of grime into those treads. And we'll just kick out some of that from the roof walk to the side there. And the most useful trick you can learn with weathering is knowing when to stop and not overdoing it. And I think this is pretty good right here. So there's our roof, there's our sides, our ends. And I might go in and get some of this excess dust out from the bottom here. Okay. All right, we're almost there. How we doing, guys? The theoretical people, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna clean my hands off a little bit here. Get a clean paper towel. Getting a buildup of Russian earth on my fingers here. So, clean my fingers off. All right. Yeah. Hey, Lou. Lou Papino. I didn't see you sneak in there, Lou. Hey, Ray, how you doing, Ray? All right, good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, Lou. I gotta weather some pumpkins for Ralph, maybe, because we know Ralph loves pumpkins. That's an inside joke, guys. Ralph de Blasi hates pumpkin spice. He hates this time of year because of all the pumpkin spice stuff. So me and Lou have been known to visit Ralph's layout and put little miniature pumpkins around the layout for him to find weeks later. All in good fun, though. All right. Okay. All right, so we got our fading. We have our grime. And we talked about doing a little bit of cement dust. This is where we're going to experiment a little bit because I haven't done this before. So, but I do have some colors here that I'm going to maybe play with. Possibly, I'm thinking this buff color. You can see the color there. I don't know, maybe the cement dust should be a little lighter, but let's give it a couple of drops around the hatch. Go lightly with it. Around the hatches. Around the hatches, not down the hatches, but let's see what happens. I would think that probably would streak down. All right. Let's see what happens when we work this in a little bit. No, I don't want that. That's got wash on it. Let's clean this brush off in the thinner. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of blending it into what we have there already. Again, if I'm not happy with this, I can go back and clean it up if I have to. Right now, I'll just spread that out a little bit. Got some on top of the hatch, on the side of the hatch. I also have this pigment called Africa Sahara dust, I think it's called. We might hit a little bit of that while it's still wet. Let me get a couple streaks down too. Yes, I did say around the layout. I'm going to make you an unofficial sponsor too, Ray. This weathering, Saturday Night Weathering, unofficially sponsored by Around the Layout. It's my favorite podcast with the best podcaster ever, Ray Arnott. Just started listening to this week's podcast, Ray. Enjoying it so far. All right. Actually, that's not bad. Working it in. Starting to blend in with some of the colors that are up top there. I'll hold it up for everybody and get your judgment on it. Once I'm done with it. As I drag some of that beige, what's it called? Buff. Drag some of that down the side there. All right, hold it up for you guys. Hopefully you can see it. I'll put it in the light a little bit more. Not sure if that's the effect I'm trying to get or not, but okay. Let's see what I do with that. North Africa dust. So this is the color in the bottle there. That's more of a cream color. I'm not sure. Let me put a tiny bit on there and see what happens. Yeah, it's not doing nothing. It's just knocking off, actually. All right. We're not going to go with that. Okay, we're experimenting, and I might just leave it at this. All right. You guys can see it. Once again, go around the car. All right. All right, we're down to the final stretch here, guys. I'm going to do the trucks. I will probably save the wheels for to do at another time. I could paint a few up for you just to remind you how it goes. Go with my wheel supply here. I mean, I'll just do it real quick. I'll take out some of my Code 88 wheels. Since this car will be running on my layout, I run with code 88. I'll be popping these other wheel sets out. So let's get our rust. Oh, where is it? Here it is. So this was a rust acrylic that we used last time. So we'll use these on the wheel sets again. Shake it up really good. Pour some into the tray. We don't need a lot. So we're only doing 4 wheel sets. So maybe one more drop. All right, so we'll add this to the list. Old rust. This is a MiG acrylic, not the usual enamel that we use. Go in with a clean brush. Wow, something's going on here. All right, this is not acting right here, guys. Hold on. It's not working like the last time. Let's shake this up a little bit more. I think the problem is I needed a swig of beer, so I'm gonna have some beer. Cheers, guys, Saturday night. Beer fixes everything. Thank you, Bian. Appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the encouragement, guys. You know, some of the stuff is that we've done before. Some of the stuff I'm trying out for the first time, trying to get different effects and stuff. So you're kind of learning alongside with me. Let's try this again here. I don't know why. This acrylic's not acting right tonight. Let me get a different brush. Yes, that's definitely not. All right, now it's starting to cover better now. I don't know what the problem was with it, but using this fatter brush, just twisting it around the point there. There you go. Now it's working. For the life of me, I don't know what it was. All right, just twist it around like that. Twist it around like that. It's not that hard to do. You know, people make masks and they make jigs and stuff to airbrush your wheel sets. I think a little bit of brush painting inside is fine. I really don't do the back sides of the wheels, because unless you're really holding the car up and looking at it, you're not going to notice it. Oh, yeah, it's looking 100% better there. Last ones, I only dipped the brush once there. Got a little bit of a fat brush, and I'm just twisting it around like this. And that's covering the whole inside of the wheel. One more time, and we'll have all 4 wheel sets done. Perfect. All right, beautiful. Now I'm happy. All right, let's go in with our Kursk soil. We'll do the trucks, and once the trucks are done, we're going to be pretty much done. Now, there's a few places I might go back and touch up during the week. I might want to get a little more grime underneath the undercarriage here, especially along these chutes. All right. So I will just touch that up during the week. Again, I like to go back and give it a few days of, and go back with fresh eyes and look at, see if there's anything I want to change like I did on that rusty car from last week. So maybe there might be a few things I want to clean up or change, so we'll see. All right, let's get another brush. All right, this is a clean brush. Go and get some of that cursed soil. And again, we're going to do a modified dry brush. We're going to knock some of it off, but not all of it. Just get some of the excess off and just dab on that side frame with this cursed soil. You could use anything that's a light tone brown or a beige. Probably could get away with that all brush or beige, because it's not going to stay this beige color. We're going to put the earth tones on there while this paint is wet, and that's going to tone it down to a darker earthy color, grimy color. Get into the springs and everything there. All right, let's get our Russian earth here. Get one of these brushes and just start dabbing on the pigment. Go to the next truck, same thing. Get it covered good. Knock off the excess. And there you go. Might want to brush that a little bit more. Knock some of that excess off there. So you can see like the cursed soil come through the pigment, but it's not that light beige color. And the pigment's given a little bit of tooth. It's kind of look like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not a 3D effect, but it gives it some texture. Texture is what I'm looking for. Go to the other side. Some cursed soil again. Wipe off. I didn't get enough on there. Okay. Dab it on the side of the trucks. Get it into the spring area. Any place that's got black. Same thing with the other set here. Okay. Go back with our dry brush again. And dab in the pigment. We're not brushing it in, we're just kind of dabbing it on the outside, guys. Same thing with the other truck. I know my hand keeps getting in the way, sorry about that. Knock the excess off. Give a little pound, a little bang on the table there. And I think we're going to call it, guys. Let's take a look. one more time. Let's close up our paint so it doesn't dry out. All right. So just to go over again what we did a fade first with our oil brushers. Did around the car to fade. And like I said, always do your fading first. Then we went around with our wash. And we started with the brown for dark brown for green vehicles. The wash over the car. We did it along the top, drew it down, blended it in. Then we went with our Russian earth pigment for the grime from the bottom of the car and along the roof walk. And the last thing we did as far as washes and stuff was our buff colored oil brusher for the cement dust around the hatches. And we blended that in. And then we went back and did our trucks, and that's it. Let's give it one last look before we sign off. I see a spot here that I want to just go back a second still, because it's still a little wet. Overnight it'll dry, and a lot of this will set up. And it'll be good to go. So we started out with our shiny red car, right out of the Atlas box. Did our fade and our weathering. And now it looks like it's been out in the cement fields for a while. All right. One more little spot. That's what I talk about, going back with fresh eyes. You see stuff, you can always go back and change it. All right, we'll let this sit overnight, and I'll go back and look at it tomorrow, but I think this is pretty much done. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Give it a try. I will list later on, once this is done uploading to YouTube from the live. I'll go in, I'll put a list of materials that we used tonight. I'll give you some links. Definitely a link to around the podcast layout. No, around the layout podcast, around the podcast layout. The Around the Layout podcast, and a link to Spray Gunner. And maybe I'll even give you a link to Athletic Brewing. I got to see if I can find it. Guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you being here. And have a great week. And I might try and upload a short video during the week with another subject matter. We'll see what happens. But if not, I will see you same time next week, 10 o'clock on Saturday night. Have a great week. Stay healthy, and God bless.